Jayasundara had sent this intelligence tip-off to top officers on the 11th of April, 10 days before yesterday's attack. Now, the National Tawheed Jamaat is a radical Muslim group in Sri Lanka that had gained prominence last year when it had been linked to the vandalization of the Buddhist statues. Now, during a news conference on Sunday evening, Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe, addressed concerns that officials had prior intelligence of the forthcoming attacks. He also said that the government will investigate as to why adequate precautions were not taken, clearly pointing towards a lapse in the security agencies following up on the intelligence input that they already had with them 10 days prior to the attacks. And also he claimed that neither he nor his ministers had been informed about the prior intelligence attacks. And this is a charge that Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is making against the President, Maithripala Sirisena, who, remember, at the time of the attacks was in fact holidaying abroad, but is now back in the country. All right, and the death toll of Indians who've been confirmed to have been killed in Sri Lanka Blasts has now risen to 5. At least 5 Indians were killed in the course of the attacks that took place in Sri Lanka. And India's Foreign Minister, Sushma Swaraj, has in fact confirmed this morning deaths of 2 more Indian citizens who were killed in the attacks. Now, the Foreign Minister in fact put out a tweet identifying the dead as two individuals, KG Hanumantarayappa and also M. Rangappa. And these 2 individuals, it has now been clarified by a political party in India from the state of Karnataka, the JDS, the Janata Dal Secular, were in fact party workers who were residing at the Shangri-La Hotel. A total of 7 of these JDS workers reportedly were in fact staying at that hotel, and 5 of them, the party claims, are still missing. And also in a series of tweets, India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj has confirmed that the Indian High Commission in Colombo had been informed about the death of the 3 Indian nationals yesterday itself. The dead have in fact been identified as Lakshmi, Narayan Chandrasekhar and Ramesh. Now, 2 JDS workers are part of the 5 people who died in the terror attacks. The 2 men, KG Hanumantarayappa and M. Rangappa, were on the 5th floor of the Shangri-La Hotel when the hotel was attacked. And Karnataka's Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy has also confirmed that a team of 7 JDS members had in fact been staying there, and out of them 2 are now dead. Kumaraswamy has said, and I quote him here, "I'm shocked to hear that a 7-member team of the JDS workers from Karnataka who are touring Colombo has gone missing after the bomb blast in Colombo. 2 of them are feared to have been killed in the terror strike. I'm in constant touch with the Indian High Commission on the reports of those who are missing." Now, Sri Lanka has witnessed years of conflict and deadly terror attacks. The civil war, which ended in 2009, claimed almost over 100,000 lives in a civil war that dragged on for almost about 26 years. But what led to the civil war in the first place? We look back at some of the most ghastly attacks that struck Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka has a checkered history. The civil war in the island nation ended a decade ago when the separatist group LTTE was defeated. A fragile peace has largely prevailed since then, but the latest blasts, the deadliest since the civil war ended, have aroused fears of violence reviving in the island nation once again. The violence-marred civil war lasted 26 years. But when were the seeds for this protracted violence sown? The beginning of the conflict can be tracked back to the British colonial rule. The Tamil minority, comprising just 11.9% of the population, were handed over most of the political power as the colonial rule ended. This was not to go down well with the Sinhala Buddhist majority, which formed 74.9% of Sri Lanka's population. The Sinhalese felt their identity was threatened with the Tamils at the helm of the state. The dynamics changed gradually. Sinhala became the national language in 1956, leading to a systematic exclusion of non-Sinhala speakers being excluded from public service. Hundreds of thousands of Tamils lost their jobs. The community was left seething with a lack of opportunities. The growing sense of disillusionment among Tamils prepared ground for a separatist Tamil group, the LTTE, to emerge. The group became the strongest of all rebel groups based on its unwavering demand for a separate Tamil homeland. Tensions ran high between the government and the rebel group in July 1983, leading to a full-blown civil war. In a massive anti-Tamil pogrom that followed, Tamils were hunted and slaughtered. Some reports claimed that thousands of Tamils were killed. Thus began the spate of attacks by the LTTE. The group carried out a slew of brutal suicide attacks in the 90s. In 2005, the Sri Lankan government stepped up its campaign against the LTTE. Final victory over the group was announced in 2009, but not before 100,000 lives were lost over 3 decades. The LTTE unleashed a string of attacks that go down as dark moments in Sri Lanka's turbulent history. In May 1985, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Ilam gunned down at least 146 nuns, monks and civilians in Anuradhapura.
Meanwhile, we are interrupting that report for some breaking news that's just come in, where there's been a fire at a market in Mumbai. And these are the visuals of this fire that has been reported just a while back. It's not very clear as to what has led to the fire and if there are any casualties or any injuries that have been reported at this point of time. But these are visuals that are coming in from Mumbai, where the firefighters are trying to do their very best to try and put out the flames at this point of time. And this is said to be in some kind of a commercial area where the fire has taken place. So this is the latest in terms of what is happening at this point of time in one of these markets in Mumbai. And this building has gone up in flames. Now, the reason for the fire is still not clear. And the firefighting agencies are presently at the spot and are trying to do their very best in their bid to, in fact, put out the flames. So this is a fire that has taken place at the Crawford Market in Mumbai, and 4 fire tenders are presently at the spot, and more details are awaited in terms of what in fact led to the fire. So this is some breaking inputs that have just come in, where a fair bit of a massive fire has been reported in Mumbai's Crawford Market. 4 fire tenders are presently at the spot and are trying to put out the flames. So this is information that has just come in, where there's been a fire that's been reported at the Crawford Market, where one of the shops that you in fact see on your screens, that has caught flames, and there is dark, thick smoke that is billowing out of this particular shop that you see there. And there are 4 fire tenders which are presently at the spot, trying to do their very best to try and put out the flames. The reason as to what led to the fire, it is still not clear. Was there some kind of an electric short circuit? Was there some other reason that in fact resulted in the fire is still not known. And also there is no information in terms of whether there were people inside the shop at the time that this fire suddenly broke out.